Good morning. Good morning, students. You're able to hear me? You're able to hear me, Anupriya? Yes, anybody respond?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So today we'll discuss about this topic on macros and procedures. The macros and procedures are nothing but writing small lines, set of lines of code uh, and make your coding easy. Okay, so let me discuss the same thing. A macro, is a named block of assembly language statements. Once defined, it can be called or it can be invoked as many times in a program as you wish. When you invoke a program or when you invoke a macro, a copy of its code is inserted directly in the program wherever it is called. Okay, so that we will see with an example. So the text looks big, so we'll see with an example, right? So let us see. How do we declare a macro? How do we write a program for using a macro? We'll see that. So I'll share you the. We'll see one example. How do we define a macro? A macro is defined using the keyword macro, and you end the macro with a ENDM, end macro directives. The syntax is like you write the macro name, then you write the keyword macro, and later if you want to pass any parameters, then you can pass the parameters. The parameters should be separated by a comma. Okay, and then you write a end macro. Here you are going to write the set of code that is going to be relevant. For example, let us say we want to put one single character and display it on the console. Okay, so if you want to display a single character on the console, then the macro looks like this. Put char is the name of the macro. Macro is the keyword, the directive, and what you are giving in as a argument is character. Then you write this set of lines of code to put the character onto the console. Then you end this macro with a ENDM. Okay. Now, whenever you are going to use this in the main code, you can simply type PUTCHAR with what character you want to put onto the console. So it becomes more easy if you see an example. So we'll see one example here. I'll share the video over here. So you see here, we have written a very simple code over here. That is, you are starting the code, that is the starting place is 108, and then the code segment you are writing. Dot code or dot code segment. So you are writing here. There is no special data segment we have used. We are not used any data here. A simple code segment. What is the code doing? We are simply moving a 5 into a register BX, and we are moving a 2 into AX. That's all. What is the relevance of this? It is a junk code. Okay, it has no significant relevance. Okay, but to understand what is a macro or what is a procedure, this is quite good enough. Now, if you write a simple program, this is what it will be. Now, if you want to write a macro to move some data into a register, then you can write it like this. So, what you are doing is you are writing the macro name. I am giving it as M1, and then I am writing the keyword macro. Okay, then I am writing the set of instructions here. Move bx comma 5. I am moving 5 into bx, and that is the end of my macro. Now I want to use this in the code. Now my code begins. Then I am just simply writing the macro name here. That is M1. Then I am writing this is some other junk instruction over here. Move AX comma 2, just to show that this is same as this. Okay, here we have moved BX comma 5 here directly through the instruction. Here we are moving the 5 into BX using a macro. Okay, then using an instruction we are moving 2 into AX. Then you are saying end of the main program, return. Okay, this is a macro. Let us say somewhere else, if at all you wanted to do the same operation, then you could have used simply the name of the macro. Here we are not used any arguments. Now here what we are moving into BX, we are moving 5, which is a fixed number. Let us say we want to move some different numbers. Then this could have been an argument over here. M1 macro some number NUM. Then you move BX comma num. So this could have been the code. So this is how it makes it easy. Okay. Now when you come back to the example, there we were discussing about the putchar. So here we are discussing a putchar. So the macro name is putchar, and macro is the keyword, and okay. So here you are writing a macro of how many lines? So it is move DL comma character, move AH comma 02 and INT 21H. Okay. So these 3 lines of code is encapsulated in a macro. Here making it as a macro, and then we are using it in the code. So whenever you want to display a character, let us say I want to display my name. So my name is made up of different characters like V, I, S, W. Then I can simply call putchar V, putchar I, putchar S. That can be my code. So instead of in my main code, it can be putchar V, putchar I and put char yes, and so on. So at the end of the program, if you execute this program, my name will be displayed. Okay. So this is a macro. Now there is one more concept which is called as a procedure. So what is a procedure? Procedure is similar to a macro, but it is a independent function. Okay, it is an independent function in itself. So you write it separately. So you have to call the function. Whenever you write a procedure, you have to call that procedure. For example, the same thing. So in a procedure, what we do is we again start the code. Then if at all you want to move 5 into bx, then you call a procedure with name m1. Okay. So what is there? What is written in the procedure is here. The procedure name, the keyword procedure PROC. Then inside the procedure, what we are doing is move bx comma 5. Okay. Then you end that procedure with the keyword end p. Okay. So this is a procedure. Procedure is always written at the end of the code segment. So this is the end of the code segment. This is the end of the code segment. But a macro is always written before the code segment. Okay. So this is a difference between a macro and a procedure. Now, here what happens is internally, whenever you are calling the procedure, the control will go out of this particular program and it will go to a function. This is written and stored at some position. But whereas in a macro, whenever you are invoking a macro, in this place, in place of this will be replicated. Or in place of M1, move bx comma 5 will be seen or repeated by the assembler. So if you say somewhere over here again M1, again here it will be move bx comma 5. It is something like in the code, the procedure or the macro will get expanded into whatever we have written as a macro. Okay, so this we will see the differences here. Differences between the macro and yeah, you see here in a macro, the corresponding machine code is written every time a macro is called in a program. Every time you write a macro, you are calling a macro here. So the macro will be repeated here. The corresponding machine code is written only once in memory in procedures. So you are writing the procedure over here. This will be written only once in the memory. In a macro, the program takes more memory, because how many ever times you are invoking the macro, so many times the number of lines will be repeated. The code size will become more. Okay. So in the procedure, the program takes up comparatively less space. A macro takes more space, whereas a procedure takes less space. There is no transfer of program counter. Say, for example, in a macro, if the control is here, since the macro is expanded over here, the instruction pointer will be in this function itself. But whereas in a procedure, whenever you are calling a particular procedure, the control will go to somewhere else. It will come over to here. That is in a different part of the memory. When it is jumping from the main code to a procedure, so at some other part of the memory, what happens is the current instruction address will be pushed onto the stack. Current status of the program will be pushed onto the stack. Okay, then it will come over here and it will execute the procedure, and then the current status of the program will be popped out of the stack and it will control the execution. It will continue the execution. Here, transferring of the program counter is not required. Is required in a procedure. In a procedure, it is required. In a macro, it is not required. No overhead of using a stack for transferring control. In a macro, no stack is required. So whenever you are invoking a macro, you don't have to save the status of the program. But in a procedure, you will have to save the current status, where you are, what is the content of different registers, what is the contents of different flag status, and so on. You have to store them. A stack is required. And then you send the control to some other part of the program. Once you execute this, again you have to pop out all those things that you stored earlier, and then you have to continue the execution. So, which execution is fast? Here you have to store something and then continue. So execution will be slow here. Here execution is fast. In a macro, execution is fast. In a procedure, execution is slow. Now, assembly time is more in this place. So when you are assembling, how many other places a macro is invoked, at so many places you have to repeat the code. Okay, you have to change the code. Assembling process is slow over here, but whereas here, this procedure has to be assembled only once. Okay, so the assembling process is quite fast here. And time taken for assembling here is less, time taken for assembling here is more. Okay. Macro is advantageous to the programs when repeated group of instructions are used many times. When some group of instructions are used many times, then this is very good. Okay. So here we are not using them. So when there is a dedicated task, then we are going for a procedure. We will see an example through simulation. Okay. The same simulation we will see. I am opening the EMU 8086 emulator. Now all of you can see the screen over here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So we have written a program. See here, we have written a program M1. The macro we have defined over here. So the name that we have given is M1, and what is the functionality that it is doing is it is simply doing moving 5 into Bx. That's all. Here we are not doing anything complex. Then in the main program, what we are doing is first we are invoking the macro. We are invoking the macro, and then we are writing one more line of code just for your understanding. So we will emulate this. And we will see so we will see, we'll go a single step. Here. Okay, again we'll reload. We'll see this. Where is the control? Control is at line number 11. So at line number 11, what is happening? So in a single step, all these things are happening. So these three lines are highlighted here. So it is disassembled. Code is this. Okay. So that is nothing but move 5 into Bx. This is a mnemonics. Okay. Single step. You see the Bx register, it is having 0 over here. Okay. So Bx register is having 0, and now single step, and 5 is coming here. So when you execute this line of code where you are invoking a macro, that 5 is going into Bx. Next, as usual, in this instruction, you know very well, AX will be loaded with 2. Now, the same code, we will see the listing. That is, when the assembling is done, how it looks like. The same code, when it is converted into machine code, this is how it looks like. Okay. So first time you are writing the macro here, then you are writing this code M1 and move AX comma 2 and return. At M1, what is happening is this is a machine code. This machine code is nothing but you are moving Bx into 5. Just for our understanding, let us say we will modify this code into something like this. 1 minute. So without using a macro, we will write move Bx comma 5. So we will write this and we will emulate this and see what will happen. So we will view the listing. Yeah, listing is over here. Yeah. Now you see here, when we invoke the macro over here, what is the machine code that is generated? It is nothing but BB0500. And when we write the instruction move bx, 5, the same machine code is generated. This is what we are telling. Whenever a macro is invoked, same lines of code that is there in the macro is repeated. Okay. Only this makes us easy in writing. Okay. So this is the advantage. Same code we will see how it looks like in a procedure. If you write this as a procedure, how it looks like. So we'll see this. So in this also, so in the main code, after calling this again, we will use this move bx, 5 and see how it looks like. Yeah. So this is using the procedure. So we are writing the main code here. Okay, in that we are calling the procedure, and that procedure name is M1. And what we are writing in that procedure is this. So move, M1, procedure name M1, keyword PROC, move bx, 5, return from the procedure. So M1, that is a procedure name and end procedure. So we have written the procedure over here and end the overall program. Now, when we emulate this and when we see the listing, what is happening? You see here, this is the starting of the code, call M1. Call M1 is E80700. Okay. So for calling the function, only the machine code is this, which is different from move bx, 5. You see, this is different from this. How many ever times you call the procedure, it will be using the same thing. Okay. So, any doubts over here? Any questions? Now we will see what happens when we execute this program. Okay. So we'll go by single stepping. Yeah. So M1, see, one step back. Now you are calling the procedure. You are calling the procedure means the control will go from here to here. Okay. So your instruction pointer is 100 now. Now it should go to at M1. Let us see what will be there. So single step. Now your control came to this. So instead of from 100, you went to 10A. At 10A, these are stored. Okay. So instruction pointer is now at 10A. Next, it will increase to 10D. So move bx, 5. 5 will be loaded into bx. Then you are returning. Where it will return? When it jumped from here to here, the instruction pointer was having 100. So jump back. That is return. So single step. So you'll go back to here. Now what is the instruction pointer thing? It is 103. So here you were at 100. Then here it is 103 because this machine code takes 2 bytes. So on the 2 bytes, after 2 bytes, you are addressing at 103. This is the current instruction location. So single step, again, you are storing 5 into bx, no problem. And then you are going to end the program. Okay. How many ever times you were calling this? Each time when you call, it will go to the same location, that is 10A. That is why in procedures, only one time you are assembling. Multiple times you can use, but and code size will be very less in procedures if you use procedures. So this is the difference between a procedure and a macro in 8086. So any doubt here? So I'll save this recording and then I'll share with you. If you have any doubt, you can just ask me. And again at 12 o'clock, I have invited the students who have not submitted the assignment for a meeting, just to know if they have any difficulty. So those people can join the meeting. Or anybody having the issue with assignments can join the meeting. So can we end the meeting now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.